What's up, King's Table family? Really excited, fun video for you here today. We're going to be talking about Varia, the expandable card game from Guildhouse Games. They have sent us something super special that we're going to be talking about. Varia, if this is the first time you've heard of it, which I wouldn't be surprised because I actually didn't hear about it until recently either, and I'm so glad that I did. It is, like I said, it's an expandable card game, and what makes it pretty unique is that it's actually a pretty perfect balance of using skill and tactics to play cards on the timeline, which is sort of the main function of the game. And they balance that out well with using a dice rolling mechanic. And sometimes those dice rolls can lead to you hitting your opponent a lot harder than just the card originally said, or failing a lot faster because the dice does not go in your favor, the dice roll. So since Guildhouse Games has started, I believe they originally launched on Kickstarter a couple of years ago, they have, because the whole game system is based around classes, so each of these characters on this product that we're going to be talking about in this video are based on classes. Every character is considered to be a part of a class. And they have two classes that were introduced in a two-player starter box type product. And they've actually come out with 14 additional classes that are represented in individual decks that you can purchase from their website. Now, here's the really exciting thing. Like I said, we're going to be talking about this product in my hands. Two more classes are coming to the game on December 1st. That's right, December 1st. We are getting this box that contains the Sunset Ninja and the Sunrise Samurai. For some reason, I always want to say those backwards. So the Sunrise Samurai and the Sunset Ninja. Those are the two new classes that are joining Varia. This box is going to retail for $29.99, and then it is available for pre-order right now at the time of this video. We should have about a week or so to get your pre-orders in if you want to get one early, or get one on time. And this is going to be a pretty exciting thing to talk about. Here in a second, we're going to go ahead and get it open, look at all the contents inside of this two-class battle box. And just a shout out and a thank you to Guildhouse Games for sending us this early copy. We're super grateful for the opportunity as just a small channel to have a part in what you guys are trying to do, which I think is actually pretty cool, which we're going to talk about towards the end. So let's go ahead, let's unbox this, let's see what's inside, and then we'll sort of circle back around to final thoughts on the game as a whole. And yeah, let's go ahead and let's crack it open. So here it is. This packaging looks pretty fantastic. This is the new Varia two-player starter set. Yeah, it looks like they've got, at least the one that they sent to us has this big sticker on the front, support your LGS. That's something that I've definitely noticed from looking around on like their website or social media, those sorts of things. They seem to be very adamant about supporting local game stores, and that's always something I can get behind. Yeah, so let's go ahead, let's take a look. We will just carefully cut that open. And then once I get the plastic off, we'll look at the whole box. So there you can see some of the art of the two heroes in this. There is the Sunset Ninja and the Sunrise Samurai. And then the back of the box gives you some information on what's inside, a little bit of information about the game itself. I was actually pretty surprised. I opened this, and, the box itself is not very big. So being able to just put all the stuff needed for two people to play inside of this little box is pretty neat. I do like that. And this is first impressions. I've never opened one of these before because this is a brand new product. All right, so interesting. So it looks like we've got our dice here. Some D4s. Looks like there's a blue one and then a white and black one. So we'll see what that is about at some point. Okay, let's see. Oh, a guidebook. All right. Let me pop that open. We'll take a look. Okay, so it does include a rule book, so you will be able to. Oh, okay. Well, we'll come back to the rule book. A little comic book in the back. You guys see this? I mean, this is pretty impressive. When game developers take the time to not only build out a game, build out product for a game, do the things necessary to actually create a product like this, but they also take the time to do something like throw a comic book in the instruction book. I mean, that's huge. I really like that. I'm really excited to read that and dive in. So it does come with a little rule book / comic book. I really dig this. And then this is interesting. I can't say that this is something that I've seen a lot. I've played a lot of different TCGs. I've opened a lot of TCG product. I can't say that I've ever seen the 2 decks shipped inside of a dice bag like this. That's kind of neat. I like that. And then I'm assuming, I wonder if it says on the back. Nope. I was looking if it had like a content or something. I'm assuming this is actually for long term. The dice is just the easiest way to keep the cards together. I don't know. That's an excellent question. If you guys have the answer, then certainly let me know. Or game devs and product designer, if you guys have the answer, let me know because I'm curious. Either way, I think that there's a lot of things that are pretty impressive, just initial impressions opening the product. Here, we'll put that beautiful box right there. So just in initially opening the product, I'm actually pleasantly surprised with a lot of the things that I'm seeing. And it looks like it should be a safe place. We'll go ahead and we'll put the Sunset Ninja right here. We'll take a look at the Samurai first. Looks like this is a turn structure card. I'm always a fan of these when you get these in like board games and that sort of thing. Even if you sort of memorize this stuff and you don't need it anymore, it's really nice when you're teaching other people how to play the game. Put that, no, I'll put it down here so you can still see the Varia logo. So let's go ahead and let's take a look. Okay, so it looks like this is a little story card, a little lore card on the Sunrise Samurai. That's pretty cool. We'll just kind of go through the cards really quickly. Like I said, we have not learned how to play this. I like that art. That's cool. We have not learned how to play this game yet. This is just sort of an initial unboxing. I want to get some first impressions. I dig that art a lot. That's really cool. Overall, and I think this will, obviously learning the game will help in sort of understanding what is, what's actually in here, what these cards do. But just sort of initial impressions. I think that there's a lot of information on some of these cards, and it doesn't necessarily feel busy or overwhelming. It looks like everything is laid out in a very nice way. This looks like a lot of flavor text, so that excites me. I think flavor text is a lot of fun, and that looks like a big body of flavor text. Their card back is kind of fun too. I had never heard. Stop! This is the end of my deck. Okay, interesting. So I'm sure there will be something. Typically with like a beginner product, sometimes you'll have like a way to learn the game, and then maybe something with advanced rules or something like that. We'll definitely have to take a look. Interesting. Health point. Oh, so some like trackers and okay, interesting. That's really neat. Like I said, I don't know what a lot of this means at this moment in time because we're actually going to spend the next couple of days after opening this learning the game and playing it and trying to get some first impressions to bring back to you at the end of this video. But as far as the product goes, there's a lot of this that I'm pretty impressed with, and I'll try and go through some of these cards. I don't want to go through them too fast because I'm actually really enjoying a lot of the art on this. Like I said, I'd never heard of Varia prior to getting the opportunity to review this product and talk about this product for them. And if this is how they do things, if this game is going to be one that plays well, and this is the level of thought and care that they put into designing their product, then I can see good things in the future for these guys. And I think that I don't imagine that this will be the last product that ever enters my game collection. So these were the two decks. It looks like I said, there's a lot of different things inside of the decks. It looks like there's some various tokens, various counter cards, that sort of thing. And so I'm excited to find out what all of it means. I'm excited to dig into this game, sort of learn more how to play it, learn more about it. The mechanics all seem very interesting. I'm really excited to dive into this one. So yeah, this will be sort of the section of the video where we just initially go through and unbox everything and give you some first impressions. And let's go ahead and cut now to a few days in the future when we've had the chance to play this game, and I'll give you my thoughts on how it plays. So now that we've opened the box, I want to go ahead and I want to talk about a couple of things, because the way that I filmed this, since I've actually, filmed the opening of this product, it's been a couple of days and we've had an opportunity to play the game, learn the game, enjoy it. And I'm going to share some of my thoughts on our experience with the game, because we are, like I said, we're brand new. I had not heard of Varia until we sort of, headed down this path of getting this product and being able to review it for you guys. And what I think is really interesting about the game, we'll actually sort of break that discussion down into a couple of categories. So we're going to talk about design, accessibility, and the actual gameplay portion of it. Now, I do want to offer a brief disclaimer before we get into this. Varia has a couple different formats that the game can be played in. They have a sort of constructed format that does involve deck building, so if that's something you prefer, or if that's how you experience Varia, then that's awesome. I would love to learn more about it at some point, but for the sake of this video, we are actually using sort of the pre-constructed format that they would call the out-of-the-box format, where you just open the class, open the deck you want to play, and that's what you play with. So sort of all the opinions and all of the things that I'm going to say for this video is really coming from that perspective. What does the game look like in terms of design, gameplay, and accessibility from that out-of-the-box standpoint? So, because that's generally how I plan on experiencing this game, is through that out-of-the-box format, and I know that that's how I'm going to be teaching a lot of people how to play this game. So let's go ahead and let's start by talking about design. Now, primarily, we spend our time talking about and playing Flesh and Blood, and then if we're not playing those, then I'm typically playing the One Piece TCG or the My Hero TCG, sort of the Universes system. Now, this is especially true after Universes' recent card redesign. I feel pretty spoiled when it comes to being a player of those games. Visually, those games are stunning. They have great artwork. They have great card design. Everything about the game is really well done. And so I generally have a sort of high bar when it comes to design. Now, I'll be totally honest. When I first saw some of the digital versions of these cards, I was a little skeptical about what they would actually be like in hand. They almost sort of reminded me of Soulforge, if you've had an opportunity to look at or play Soulforge. I'm sorry, Soulforge, but just visually, I cannot get into that game because of the way that like the cards look, and it just doesn't do it for me. It's almost sometimes so bad it's distracting from my ability to play the game. So for Soulforge, it sort of, when I saw some of the initial cards when I first started looking into Varia, it just sort of that connection in my brain started to happen. And I was a little nervous because I'm going to be, if we ever get the chance to do any sort of these product reviews or talk about these sort of things, I'm going to be 100% honest, because I don't have infinite money and infinite time to spend on games, and so my time and my money is valuable to me, and so I want to make sure that I'm honest about the things I would spend my time and money on, because that's what people want to hear. So I was a little bit nervous, but excellent news. My worries were really for nothing. Having these cards in hand has changed a lot for me. The design, the cards, it's really started to grow on me. And now I do think that some art on some of the cards does appear a little dark or a little muted. So I would like to eventually see more vibrancy in some of this really awesome artwork. But everything has completely grown on me. And I do really like sort of what they've executed in the design. Especially when it comes to the actual design of specific, so like here is the Sunset Samurai, the little character art card, and these are really cool too. They have lore on the back of them, which I thought was a really nice touch. And then this is the ninja. So, I mean, as far as even character design, it's really fantastic. Here's, just because they're right in front of me, I'll show you. Here are a couple of the asset cards for each of the heroes. So actually having them in hand has changed a lot for me. So if you find yourself looking online at some of the images of the cards and you maybe start to feel some of the things that I mentioned earlier, just don't let that hinder you. Go ahead and make the purchase. It's a fantastic game, and we're going to keep talking about that as we go. But yeah, I love the artwork now. I actually really enjoy all of the design. So all of my worries and concerns, thankfully, were for nothing. So let's go ahead and let's talk about accessibility. If I was giving Varia a letter grade, if we were doing a professor-style video and we were giving out letter grades, then I would tell you that Varia 100% is going to get an A+ rating for accessibility. If you go onto their website right now, and they are really passionate about supporting local game stores, everything that I've seen from them points to that, and that's awesome. And so I think there's a couple of game stores you can get their stuff from online too. But even if you just went direct to their website, pre-constructed class decks are going to sell for $16.99. I think there's a little bit of shipping as well, but $16.99, and that's everything that you need to play. That's your deck. That's all the tokens that the deck can generate. Everything you need is going to be $16.99. Now, when you compare that, because I think it is important when we're talking about card game value and that sort of thing. When we're talking about value compared to other card games, let's talk about a couple of examples for what it would take to get into a game just buying a pre-constructed deck. A game like Pokemon, there are pre-constructed decks as cheap as $10, but there's also some fancier ones that go up to $30. If you look at Commander Precon for Magic the Gathering, they're supposed to be around $45, but who knows? They might have a good reprint in it and they might sell for $90. When you look at even Flesh and Blood, my favorite game ever, Blitz decks will typically sell for around $12. And I think when I was trying to think of comparisons for this, I actually think Marvel Champions isn't a half bad comparison, because this is an expandable card game. It's not necessarily a living card game, but I think that it has some decent comparisons to Marvel Champions. And Marvel Champions, even those hero decks are around $17 now, at least the MSRP is supposed to be. So Guildhouse has absolutely priced their product at a very approachable number. If you want even more value, they have a 7-class season box that will include, well, just like it sounds, 7 hero decks in the box for $100. Now, when you compare that to the cost of a booster box, where who knows what you're going to get, that's an absolute incredible value. You have 7 ready-to-play, tuned, and thematic decks out of the box for $100, generally the same price as a booster box. So it is absolute value, A+ Guildhouse, good work. And you know what? Even if you think you can beat that, even if you want to try and beat that value of $17 just a single deck, they have some print and play options available through their website, it looks like, just for, the option to actually play the game, and give it a shot before you spend any of your hard-earned money. So again, absolute A+ Guildhouse Games for what you've done with Varia and its accessibility. I think that, you can't beat that sort of value. So that's awesome to see. Again, as a brand new player who's never looked into this game before this past week, that makes me really excited. And it actually caused me to make some additional purchases for this game that we'll talk about at the end. But Let's talk about gameplay, because obviously that's why we buy games. Games look cool, and games have cool ideas and cool mechanics, but ultimately we want games to play well if we're going to spend our time and our money on them. So gameplay, it took us a little bit to get the hang of, and I wish that I was trying to think through maybe what the solution would be. I wish the rulebook, so this is the rulebook that comes in the box. Just for comparison, here is the box itself. There's a little bit of room potentially to make it a little bit bigger. Let me try and open it a little bit for you. So like the text is super small. And it's not the worst thing in the world, right? Because there are a lot of these games these days that don't even come with rule books in their boxes. So it's not like the biggest complaint in the world, and it certainly would never stop me from recommending this product to people. I think that there are a couple of mechanics in the game, like like movement or engaging and disengaging. Sometimes those things didn't feel super intuitive, but that could be something where it's just my brain trying to overanalyze and trying to think way too much into the rules, and I'm creating interactions or I'm creating problems that don't actually exist in the game, and that's just in my head. So I am curious if you have played and learned this game, if you have found similar things, I'd love to know in the comments below. But if you haven't, and I'm just crazy if I don't see any comments, then I'll assume then I'm just bad at learning games. But that all aside, like I said, those are all really minor things, because the game is fantastic. The game is incredible. It is a ton of fun to play. And, their timeline mechanic that you use in the game, if you've played it before or if you haven't, basically you're planning your actions out over the course of an established timeline. And as the active player, you have the advantage of controlling how many moments in the timeline there are. But as the reactive player, so basically the defensive player or player 2 or however you want to consider that, you have the advantage of being able to respond because you know what the active player has tried to plan on the timeline. And I think that that mechanic is super unique, and it is a lot of fun to try and understand and get better at utilizing. And I think what's really important about this game too is not just the card game aspect, the timeline aspect, but the dice rolling mechanic, I think is something that is done so well, where it doesn't feel like the dice are so swingy that no matter how much planning you put into your cards, that those don't matter, and ultimately the dice are going to do what the dice are going to do. That doesn't ever really feel like that. It still feels like everything you plan on the timeline has a purpose, and if you get good at doing that, then that can, most of the time, sometimes, mitigate what happens with the dice roll. But the dice roll adds just enough variance to where we found that as we were playing, there were huge moments of like laughter and cheering, and we were just having a great time playing the game, because some really silly things would happen over the course of the game because of the dice rolling mechanic. Again, it doesn't make the game feel like you're at the mercy of the dice all of the time, but it adds just enough variance to make something that's truly fun. It was a really fun game to play. And I really can't imagine the amount of work that Guildhouse Games poured into Varia to actually be able to get that balance right, which I think that they did. I think that they got it right, and I'm in Team Guildhouse Games. I think that they've done something really special here. And so, what are my final thoughts? How do we end this video? How do we sort of summarize our thoughts on Varia? I think that I can summarize it best by saying that right now there is a season 2. Remember how I talked earlier in the video about the boxes that have like 7 heroes? They are a season, a boxed set. One of those, the season 2 set, because I really like the heroes in that one, is on its way to my house. I bought one because this was a lot of fun, and I want to play more heroes in the game. A lot of the classes in the game seem very diverse, very thematic, which that's something that I really look for in card games. I want it to feel like if I choose the samurai versus the polar bear with the Gatling gun, then I want to feel like I'm playing a deck of cards that a polar bear with a Gatling gun would play, right? And I think that, like I said, Varia does that really well. So that box is it's on its way to my house. This was worth it to me to spend money on, because it is a game I'm going to teach other people. It is a game I'm going to spend time playing. And so I think that the great art, the great gameplay, the great company, as I said, Guildhouse Games seems very, very intentional about wanting to build a great community, wanting to support local game stores. And so I think that what they're trying to do and what they've done in the game is worth supporting financially and worth buying more. They didn't pay me to say that, I promise. They sent me this box, I played it, and then I bought more because I thought it was awesome. And so I hope that this review, this discussion, does the same for you. If you want to pick up this specific box, it's not upside down. If you want to pick up this specific box, like I said, December 1st, I will put the link in the description to be able to pre-order this. It is going for $29.99. If you want the Ninja and the Samurai, they are a lot of fun. There's a lot of really fun sequencing for all you Flesh and Blood players out there. If you really like playing like Fi and Katsu, you like your ninjas, then definitely you would love this box, because there's some really, really fun intentional sequencing you can do with the cards. And so, yeah, I check out this game. Buy this game. It is a lot of fun. Again, thank you so much, Guildhouse, for sending this to us. I think you've done something really special, and I hope that this is not the last video that I ever make on Varia, because it's great, and we're absolutely ready to play it more and enjoy it. So once again, thank you so much. I hope to see you all clashing on the timeline at some point, and we'll see you in the next video. Go play Varia.